The Granite Woman and the Putty Man. Doesn't that sound chilling? Just that title? Doesn't it sound terribly chilling? Well, that title is part of the reason that a grubby, run-of-the-mill murder for insurance became a sensation in the 1920s. I'm referring to the murder of Albert Snyder by his wife, Ruth Snyder, and her boyfriend, Judd Gray, who was also married. Now, again, the crime was not was nasty, but it wasn't, by the standards of murders, particularly nasty. Albert Snyder in his sleep had been attacked, had been chloroformed, beaten in the head, and had a picture wire around his neck. Pretty ugly. But why did this case grab attention? And the case grabbed attention for several reasons. And feminist Ann Jones, with whom I have many, many deep disagreements, did catch something about the case. The case seemed to be a warning to men and to women about, women who sexually transgressed. Judd Gray, when he confessed immediately, he said, this is what you get when you hang around bad women and drink prohibition liquor. And, Ruth Snyder kind of represented the unfaithful wife. Okay, now, women had just recently gotten the vote, or half of women in the United States that got the vote. Half the states actually, as states, already gave women the vote, but the 19th Amendment was passed to the Constitution, which gave all women the vote, all adult women who were not felons the vote. And so there was anxiety in the Jazz Age, or the 1920s, about women's place in society. And that, again, and the idea of a woman dominating a man was especially frightening. It was partly because it was so frightening that everybody believed Judd Gray's story, that he had been dominated by her. Though it didn't do him any good. He went to the electric chair. And another thing about the case is that's the main thing about the case, is the fact that it seemed to epitomize the idea that morals were going downhill. And that this, ultimately a murder for insurance is what would happen if we don't rein things in. Another thing about the case, though, is that nobody even entertained what Ruth Snyder said about it. They believed everything that Judd Gray said, that it was her idea, that the insurance policies were her idea, that she talked him into it. Every single account has said that. But there's no particular reason to believe it. Her version of events was that basically she was afraid that he was actually blackmailing her lover, Judd Gray, because she realized that in a showdown with Albert, if he could prove that she was an adulteress, she wouldn't have any chance of getting custody of Lorraine Snyder. So she started giving him money here and there, and she also took out the insurance policies, supposedly just to placate him. Now, I do admit that that's pretty stupid. But she also claimed that the murder basically took place when she was in the bathroom, and that she actually hadn't signed off on the murder. Okay, now, who was telling the truth? Everybody believed Judd Gray. Everybody believed that he was a putty man who was molded into a murderer by the Granite Woman. And I think part of the reason they believed him was that it was a more sensational, frightening sort of story. And I hope you enjoyed hearing that. Bye.